Hi guys, welcome to Study with Scarlett YouTube channel. In this video, we will see books to buy in first year MBBS. As you all have known that the medical colleges are going to begin very soon. So you guys will be wondered or amazed what books you need to buy in first year MBBS. This video clears all your doubts about the books and what are the subjects and what are the sources where you can buy the books and everything about that. Okay, without any further delay, let's move into the video. Before that, if you haven't subscribed to Study with Scarlett, please do click the subscribe button and bell icon. Firstly, what are the sources for you to buy those books? Either you can buy in online or in offline. Online mode of buying includes like apps like Amazon, Flipkart, and some book websites for medical books are also there where you can buy in a very affordable price, lesser than these two apps. Or else you will be having a store in your medical college in which they will be having many books and you can go directly and buy from them. Or else you can go to any book centers where they will be having medical books and there you can buy. Okay, so the price for those books depends and it differs from various sources. Like it may differ from online, college store and book centers. Sometimes some book may be costly in college stores and it may be very less in book centers, and sometimes compared to these two, online mode of buying will be less. So you can decide up to which, and you can compare the cost, price, quality, everything, and you can decide where to buy. Okay, so these are the three sources available. Then what are the three subjects in MBBS first year? MBBS first year includes anatomy, physiology and biochemistry. In anatomy, you have general anatomy, histology, embryology and genetics. Okay, so these are the portions that doesn't include cover major in theory, whereas but it is covering a major portion of your marks in practical examination. You will be asked one or two questions from these syllabus, but even though one or two questions are asked, in practical it covers more parts. So you have to learn these things also. In general, anatomy, physiology and biochemistry. Let's see what are the books you need to buy for each subjects differently. Firstly, coming to anatomy. What are the books for anatomy and what I used it? I am going to recommend you that. The textbook which I used for anatomy is Textbook of Anatomy by VISHRAM Singh. The speciality of this book is Textbook of Anatomy by VISHRAM Singh. This book you can have a very illustration of the diagrams of every answers, and questions and answers will be given very clearly and very neat and very simple, so that you can very easily score marks. Okay, so this book mainly focus on the way that the diagrams are very super clear, so that you can score more marks based on that. So I personally recommend you to use Textbook of Anatomy by VISHRAM Singh for anatomy. Then many students use BD CHAURASIA also for anatomy, so that this is a very old mode of using BD CHAURASIA is used among many years ago before that medical students, and now also some students prefer using BD CHAURASIA. If you're comfortable with BD CHAURASIA, you can use it, but I personally recommend VISHRAM Singh to be used as it is very good in diagrams. And next is general anatomy. For general anatomy, you will be having a small handbook like this by BD CHAURASIA. This book is by BD CHAURASIA's Handbook of General Anatomy. You can use this for general anatomy. And next is histology. Histology, you need to buy two books. One is textbook and one is for practical manual. Out of this, practical manual is very important because during your exam time in hurry, you won't be able to read this full textbook and you will be seeing only those diagrams and those identification points in this practical manual. Okay, so you can buy these both books, and if you're studying from first, you can start reading this Human Histology by Inder Singh, and this practical manual is by Balakrishna Shetty and Swikrita Punja. Okay, so you can buy these two books, and this is for practical manual and this is for textbook. So these are the two books for histology. Histology is nothing but it is related to the tissue, specimens, slides, everything. And next, embryology. Embryology, Inder Singh's human embryology stands first in those diagrams, illustration, details, everything. So I used this book for embryology, and I personally recommend you to use these books. Many other books are available, and many students, they don't buy a human embryology book and they just refer PDF, because nobody gives importance to human embryology in first year MBBS in anatomy. They just learn the textbook of VISHRAM Singh, everything. Okay, so they won't be giving an importance to embryology. Since you have 3 volumes of book, that is upper limb, thorax, abdomen, lower limb, head, neck and brain, they will be giving importance to these 3 books only, and the students literally they will be omitting embryology. But what I recommend to you is, you have to learn embryology like from considerably, you have to learn side by side, so that it is easy for you. Even though you are not given that much importance to embryology on first year MBBS, it will be helping you in pediatrics and everything. So embryology is highly recommended, and I recommend you to buy this textbook, so it will be useful for you in further days. Next, for dissection. So for dissection, I recommend you to buy Cunningham's Manual of Practical Anatomy. Cunningham's Manual of Practical Anatomy gives you a clear illustration about all the structures, nerves, veins, arteries, muscles, and every bones, organs, everything. While you are dissecting, you have to refer to this book side by side, so that every structure is clearly visible to you. But students generally don't buy this book, because this book they are not using that much for studying. They are just using for referring in that dissection lab, so dissection hall. So what they will do is, they will buy this book from seniors. So if you have any known seniors, you can get these books from seniors, that is upper limb, lower limb, thorax, abdomen, head, neck and brain. You can get from any of your seniors. But many colleges recommend buying Cunningham's Manual of Practical Anatomy for dissection, and my college also recommended me this book, and I bought. Since we had most of the online classes during first year MBBS, I didn't use this book much. I used only upper limb books, and these 2 books I didn't even use that, because we had only online practicals like mode, and we don't have offline dissection. Okay, then coming to physiology, the second part of his books is physiology, where you will learn about all those bodies functions, everything. In anatomy, you learned about bodies organization, what are the organs, how it is developing, and what are the histology things, and what are the artery, vein, nerve, everything in that human body, and where it is located, and how it is going, what is the course, what is the termination, where it is starting, where it is ending, for which muscles it is supplying, everything. In physiology, all you will learn is about the functions. Like functions, you will be having a separate unit for physiology in 12 class 11. I remember human physiology, where you will be learning about the digestive system, circulatory system, like that. You will be having the cardiovascular system, renal, then blood physiology, everything you will be learning, gastrointestinal system, everything. Okay, so for physiology, I recommend you to buy a reference book. This reference book, you have to use it as a standard book. Like after teaching the class, you have to read from this book, that is Guided and Hall Textbook of Medical Physiology. It is a very big book, looking like it will be looking like a dictionary literally, but this book you can it is very easy for understanding. Okay, for easy understanding, you have to read this book, and after that, for learning, you have to look at a different book. For reference, you have to use Guyton and Hall Textbook of Medical Physiology. Guyton and Hall Textbook of Medical Physiology. And next thing, you have for theory-based examinations, you can use A.K. Jain Textbook of Physiology, or else Comprehensive Textbook of Medical Physiology by G.K. Pal. Okay, so these 2 books are highly used by students, and I used A.K. Jain. And compared to A.K. Jain and G.K. Pal, A.K. Jain is a little bit small, and G.K. Pal, you have a very little excess information covered in it, and students may find difficult to read it in the first phase of learning, but after reading and adapting it, it will become easy. And A.K. Jain, you will be having that informations all will not be that much elaborate, but it is enough for you to score books. So if you score marks. So if you are confused between A.K. Jain and G.K. Pal, you better download a PDF of it, or you ask the book from your seniors and read it for 2 days. And if you are comfortable with A.K. Jain, buy it, or if you are comfortable with G.K. Pal, you can buy that, or you can buy the book which your college professors recommend. Then for practical manual, so this book is very important and you have to buy this, as this book covers all the clinical physiologies, hematology, everything of what practical you are going to do in first year MBBS. The book name is Textbook of Practical Physiology by G.K. Paul and Pravati Paul. Okay, so this book is very literally a very good book, and this book is going to help you till your final year MBBS, as this is having all the clinical physiology things and clinical application oriented things, and what test you have to do for various systems and how to find and diagnose disease. So this book is a very important book and very useful book, so don't miss this book. Okay, so even though your college didn't recommend you to buy this book, I personally suggest you to buy this book, or for all your practical oriented classes for clinical physiology related things. Okay, so these are the books for physiology, and students literally use another book for textbook for physiology, that is Sambulingam, but all the professors, they won't literally permit you to buy this book, because they consider this as a low standard book, that is, it is not equal to that standard, and it is made easy for understanding for students, like for rapid revision and rapid study, and many students use this book for during last time revisions, and they literally end up buying these books despite having those standard books. But this book, the student professors literally will not allow you to use, but what I'm suggesting you is that if you are generally weak in studies, you can use this book for only scoring marks, but knowledge can be obtained only by using these high standard reference book like Guyton and Hall, A.K. Jain and G.K. Paul. Okay. Yeah, so next we will move on to biochemistry. So biochemistry, this is literally based on where you have to perform various tests, function test, like function test of that various organ we will be learning, and then what are the amino acid metabolism of that carbohydrate, protein, fat metabolism, lipid metabolism, amino acid metabolism, and various tests, and molecular biology, in which you will be having some portions of genetics and applications. Then you will be having advanced what are the instruments to measure those things and values, how will you measure serum sample values, everything you will learn in biochemistry. So for biochemistry, the only standard books most of the students use this is Textbook of Biochemistry for Medical Students by Vasudevan, by D.M. Vasudevan. So this book stands the first to be used by all medical students for biochemistry, and I personally suggest you that this book is more than enough to score distinction in your biochemistry. This only book, if you are using it regularly, no need any reference book and no need anything, you can score more marks if you use only this book. So I used this book for biochemistry. Then for practical manual, for Viva theory, for Viva and those for practical performing, you have to use medical biochemistry. Okay, so medical biochemistry by Evangeline Jones. This book by Evangeline Jones is it is a okay, so it is in South Indian author, like it is an author from Tamil Nadu. She wrote very well this book, that it is she emphasizes on all those values, normal values, and what are the procedures, then what are the other methods, then clinical application in which that condition is increased, decreased, and moreover all that extra questions which will be asked for you during Viva is precisely given. So you can use this book for Manual of Practical Medical Biochemistry by Evangeline Jones. Okay, so these are the books I recommend you to use. And before buying books, what I recommend you is, don't buy books at the first day of your college. Okay, because your professors may recommend you and suggest you to use different books. And next is, you can consult your seniors for your any books, because some books it will be available which are not important, like embryology, histology will be available with your seniors, so you can ask them instead of spending that much money on them. And then next okay, so if you are looking for a book which is very money, if you are looking for a book that too cost friendly, you can ask to your seniors about that and they will help share. And then next thing about buying books is, don't hurry up and end up buying everything in the book that you don't need, and don't waste those books. So what I suggest you that after if you are doubtful about a book, just download a PDF from online and read that, and if you find comfortable using that book, then buy that. Okay, so don't buy every books and just read, and you don't feel like you are reading it and you need an easy book, and don't just throw it away. Okay, so these books are going to help you for all through your not only in your 5-year MBBS journey, but all through your life. You need anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and most importantly anatomy you need all through your medical life. So you have to choose wisely before buying any books. So this is the suggestion of books from me. I hope you like this video. If you guys like this video, please do hit the like button, share, comment, and subscribe to Study with Scarlett. Thank you for watching.